And that, really, truly, marriage benefits the man. Yeah. Men who marry, they live longer. They are wealthier because it lowers the blood pressure, the tension. You have someone with whom you can release the tension that you suffer moving and maneuvering through this world.
Every single one of us is created by the will of God. Every one of us has not only a unique fingerprint or a unique voice print, but we have a unique spiritual and intellectual print. And we are on this earth to fulfill a divine purpose.
Now, the reason they feared and fear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is because he ignored them completely. He was and is the first direct descendant of slaves to do that. You got to understand how big that is. His mission, this is how you know he met with God. Because I would imagine, it's almost unimaginable to me what that was like. But one thing I could imagine, after you met with God, what do you care about everybody else's opinion? What could you possibly be concerned about? So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it is immaterial to me whether you follow me or not.
Ava was the first woman in the history of Nation of Islam to be named a minister. She had worked her whole life to spread the work of Allah and help the lost find their way. Ava Muhammad was the first woman to serve as a minister in a mosque. When she died, it was a huge loss for the Muslim community because she was so important to the Nation of Islam. In 1983, when she was told she had only 5 years to live because of cancer, the minister had a long battle with her health. But because she worked hard and didn't give up, she beat cancer and lived for more 40 years. Even though her family hasn't said what caused her death, she beat cancer years ago, so it is probably wasn't cancer that killed her and might be because of old age sickness. She was born in 1951, so she was 71 years old when she died. The minister was also an attorney, and she got her Juris Doctor from Georgetown University Law Center in 1975. Ava grew up in a middle-class home in Ohio. She made history by becoming the first woman to become a Muslim minister, even though her parents were Christian. In 2013, the lawyer license to work as a lawyer was taken away from her, but she joined the New York Bar Association. Muhammad got married to Darius Muhammad in 1988, and they had a happy life together. But at the age of 28, when she was told she had cancer, the successful lawyer had a spiritual awakening, and on July 28, 1998, Ava agreed to become the Southern Regional Minister for the Nation of Islam. She looked up to Stokely Horn Michael and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as she was growing up, and she began her life as a minister who told people about Allah. Ava Muhammad was born to parents who were both teachers and who were of the African American race. Her parents were both Christian and raised her to be a Christian, but when she almost died, her youth church couldn't help her. She said she was a Christian, but she felt comfort in Allah's word, which were about black people being able to take care of themselves. The activist joined the Nation of Islam in 1981. She said that joining the group helped her beat cancer, and she has spent her whole life helping people like her. I hope with all my heart that I can do my job well and help the minister get rid of the idea that women are inferior beings who can preach the word or take care of the flock. This is what Minister Ava Muhammad said on July 28, 1998, when she was sworn in as the Nation of Islam's Southern Regional Minister. The words were important because the Honorable Minister Minister Farrakhan had given her a job that had never been done before. She was the first woman in Islamic history to be a regional leader in the nation and the minister of a mosque. On that day, she stood in front of a full crowd at the Hillside Chapel Truth Center in Atlanta. During this time, Muhammad rose to prominence in the nation and was seen as one of the future leaders of the nation, even though the nation had to put limits on women in the past. And in the late 90s, one of the nation's goals was not to seem so extreme in how they live. Ava Muhammad had grown into a leader who could hopefully help the often threatened religion connect with the mainstream. She was one of the most well-known women in the country, and she spoke at the Milan Women March in 1997. Talked to the women at the march about the future development of black women who are or want to become professionals, entrepreneurs, and politicians. In the message, she talked about how important it was for women to first have a strong relationship with God if they wanted to get ahead in life. As the Southern Regional Minister, Ava Muhammad still gave Farrakhan legal advice and led efforts to get rid of problems that the nation were facing both nationally and internationally. She was one of the most vocal and active members of the nation who fought against the British government's exclusion order against Farrakhan. The ban was put in place in 1986, and it was thought that Farrakhan's presence in Britain would hurt the public good. In 1999, she spoke at a rally in London put on by the London branch of the Nation of Islam to keep the fight against the ban going. She was quoted in the final call as saying, "It is an insult to us as people to be told that you and I aren't smart enough or skilled enough to understand his message." Even though she was the first woman in Islam's 1,400-year history to be put in charge of the clergy, Muhammad seemed more ordinary than many people thought she could. She was close with the best-selling author Inyala and Susan Taylor, who was the editor of Essence magazine. More importantly, she insisted that God welcomes people of all colors, religions, and walks of life. This is in line with how down-to-earth she is. She told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, "We are all one." When Ava Muhammad was named Southern Regional Representative of the Nation and Minister of Muhammad in 1998, it seems like the nation and Farrakhan were moving away from the traditional Islamic faith. It was different because it showed that women could be leaders in the country, and because Muhammad's message was about including everyone, which was the opposite of what Farrakhan had been saying in the past. But Muhammad says that it was actually a sign of the group's growth. "We don't like being seen as people haters," she said in an interview with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Muhammad thought the nation philosophy wasn't changing all at once, but rather changing over time. She told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, "This is how the message has changed over time, but it doesn't change and move in a different way. It is getting closer to what God wanted it to be." Ava Muhammad also told her that as a leader in the Nation of Islam, part of her job is to move towards doing what God wants and what God wants her to do. She passed away at the age of 71 years, but her cause of death hasn't been released yet. Stay tuned to the channel for more updates about the death of Ava Muhammad. And before you go, please do me a favor by smashing the subscribe button and turn your bell notification on, and I will see you guys in the next update.